Hey guys, it's me Isaiah here, and welcome back to another video. Now, usually I don't really make videos like this, but today we're gonna be doing a story time video, and we're gonna be talking about my first day of We're gonna be talking about my first day of high school as a freshman. Now, about an hour ago, as of now as I'm recording this, I just got back from my first day of high school, and today I'm gonna talk about it. So yeah. Now, like I said, I don't really do storytime videos on this channel, but high school is a pretty big thing, and I feel like talking about it. So yeah. So here it is. So the high school that I'm going to is a high school called you know what? I'm not gonna say the real name of it. We'll just call it HHS High School. HHS is the initials of the high school, and I said high school at the end because, well, it's a high school. So yeah. And I didn't really want to go to that school. I wanted to go to another school in my town called I'm not gonna say the name of that either. I'll call it WVT High School. And it's called WVT High School because WVT are the initials of it, the high school. And I said high school at the end because, well, it's a high school. And I wanted to go there, but the thing is, it's not one of those schools that you can just apply to and go there. You gotta apply there, and you gotta wait, and they'll email you back. And they basically email you back saying that you got into the school, or you got put on the wait list, or you didn't get into the school. And you had to do an interview first, and those were kind of weird. I mean, I did one of those interviews, and they were cool, I guess. And I ended up getting put on the wait list for the school, and I ended up getting put on the wait list, which meant that I still didn't know which high school I was gonna go to. So yeah, I mean, it was just kind of weird. Like, if people asked me what high school I was gonna go to, I said I don't know because, well, I got put on the wait list for that school, so I didn't know what high school I was gonna go to. So and I actually did not get a response back from them until yesterday, saying that I didn't get in because the list of freshmen there was already full. So unfortunately, I didn't get in. So I ended up having to go to HHS High School. Now, the day before, I got a haircut for it, and yeah, because I usually get a haircut before the first day of school, which I don't really like doing, because I mean, I don't care about well, actually I do, but yeah. But my mom always makes me do it, get a haircut before the first day of school or something, so yeah. But anyway, to the next day as I'm recording this video, was my first day of high school, and I woke up and I felt and I had to wake up at 6 a.m. School starts at 7, and you have to be at your first class by 7:25. And I woke up at 6 a.m. and I was feeling kind of tired, and knowing that my summer was over and now I have to go back to school for another 10 months. So yeah. But anyway, after getting dressed and brushing my teeth and putting my shoes on, and my mom taking a few back to school, taking a few first day of school pictures, which I'll show right now on the screen. Yeah. And after that, I went to go wait for my bus, and thankfully the bus came early, so I didn't really need to wait that long. And it was like that last year though, so I'm glad. So yeah. But anyway, after we picked up a few students, we went to the school, and I was actually not expect. The bus actually went to a different spot. In front of the HHS High School, there's this little road that's in front of the school that you would drive around, this little road there. And I thought the buses would go there, but instead they didn't. Instead, I found out the buses go um by like another path, another road that's by the side of the school. So I got off there and I went to the school, and I went to my first class, which was ELA, or like English class or something. I don't know what it was called. It wasn't called ELA, but it was like an ELA class. So I went there, and the class and the teacher, I think her name was Mrs. McRobbie. I went to her class, and the first thing we did there was we introduced ourselves, like and she gave us like these little white pieces of paper, and we'd write on them, like write our name, decorate the picture, and draw like what describes us in like a big word. So, and I wrote nice because, well, I am nice, and I didn't really think, and I didn't really couldn't really think of a word. So yeah. And I was starting to get nervous because, well, it was the first day of high school, and I was scared how my classes would go. And you know when you get nervous or like stressed about something, and you start to feel like you have to take a dump. I think that's called stress poop. And I ended up having to get that, and I always get that, and I hate it. Like, I don't get it. Like, I used to get that a lot a few years ago. I don't get it anymore that often. Like, I'd usually get it a few years ago before I went to school because I was nervous about going to school. And I'm not nervous about going to school anymore so I don't really get stress poop that often. But I was nervous about going to my classes and stuff. So I suddenly felt like I had to take a dump. Even though I haven't eaten anything that day. Like, I didn't have breakfast because I usually don't eat breakfast, but I don't eat breakfast the days I go to school. So anyway, I decided to hold it in though, and I decided to hold it in. But anyway, for my next class, I then went to this history class, and the teacher, I forgot her name, but apparently, and she went over the rules and stuff, and in that class is when I still had to use the bathroom. Like, I could barely even concentrate because I still had to use the bathroom. But the teacher, I forgot what her name was, but she went over the rules, and apparently the classroom that we were in wasn't actually her classroom because, well, apparently it was her first year working at the high school, and she didn't have a classroom yet, so yeah. But we went over stuff. We drew our names like on a piece of paper, and we had to fold it and put it on our desk so it'd show our names. So yeah. And after that, we went to a math class, which we didn't really do anything. Like, I mean, we filled out a paper, but barely any kids came. Like, there was like 4 other kids in there, and there was like 2 other teachers there too, and there was nobody like in the class. Like I said, there's a few students in there, but nobody really came. And we filled out a paper, basically tell us about ourselves, and we went over the rules and stuff. So yeah. But after that, I went to this class. I think it was called like 21st Century Skills or something. I don't know. And I don't even know what that class is about. We basically just went over rules, like what to do when there's a fire drill out of show, or like a shooter comes in or something. And I could barely concentrate in that class because that's when I really felt like I had to take a dump. But I don't really like using the school bathrooms because, you know, they're pretty dirty, and there's probably there's probably students vaping in there or something. So I tried to hold it in and wait till I got home, which is going to be tough because there's like 6 periods now. Like, I think there was like at least 3 or 4 when I was in middle school, and the fact that they're 6 now makes it kind of hard to like hold in my crap. So yeah. But anyway, after lunch ended, after that class and I went to lunch. Now the lunches there aren't the same. Like there's different lunches depending in like what. There's like wings at the school, and the lunch is different and it depends because it depends on like what wing you're in. And I was in the 200s wing because, well, the room number was like in the 200s. So, and if you're in the 200s or 100s wing, then that means you have the last lunch. So I had the last lunch which was 11:44 to 12:14, and I went there, and at the lunch there you can get a bunch of different things. Where unlike my middle school, where there would be like a different food each day. I mean, you could get other things, but yeah. So but this school they had nachos, and I got some. They were really good. But I only ate half of them. I didn't eat all of it because I didn't want to have to go to the bathroom even more after that. But eventually, when I went up to my next class, and I knew that I wouldn't have to and I knew that I would have to I couldn't hold it anymore when I got back up there, so I asked to go to the bathroom, and yeah, I went to the bathroom. And it was actually not that bad. I mean, the bathrooms weren't that bad. I mean, both the stalls were. Someone probably didn't flush when I went to stalls because they were both filled with pee. But I flushed it, and yeah. So anyway, after that, the day went on like normal, and I could finally concentrate because I wasn't feeling like I had to take a crap. So yeah. But anyway, after that class, I don't really know what that class was called or what we did. But after that, I went to my next class, which was a class where we did like graphing and designing, and there were these like computers in there, and you'd have to you go on the computers, and there was a bunch of Adobe Animate like apps on there that we'd use because, well, it was like a video designing thing, and yeah. So but we didn't really get to do anything there. I mean, the teacher went over the rules, and he also gave us this get to know students thing, where and it was like this paper where you'd have to go around the class and ask students something that's on the paper. Like on the paper there'd be questions like which student mostly junk food this summer, who mostly played video games this summer, and stuff like that. You have to ask students that, and if they did say, and if they said yes to that, then you'd write down their name on it. But fortunately, we didn't get to do that because the class ended. And after class ended, I went out to my bus, and there was a lot of the day ended. I went out to my bus, and there was a lot of buses there. I mean, there's a lot of buses there, and it took a little bit to get out, but yeah. And I came home, and I'm now recording this video now. So yeah. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to make a little story time about my first day of high school and how it went. So yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoy this story time video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.